Morning, everybody. It is 10 a.m. in the morning and it is a Tuesday morning. Okay, so this week we have only two lessons this week. We have one today and I'm going to do one tomorrow as well. And then on Thursday, I am back in school. So I won't be able to do Thursdays and Fridays, okay? And then we'll be back to normal next week and we'll do three more lessons next week, okay? So morning, everybody. I'm going to say a quick morning to everyone that's online now. Morning, Elsie. Morning, Chedza. Morning, Yassine. Who else we got? I think I've seen Tabor. Morning, Tabor. Morning, Abu. Who else? Morning, TC. Morning, Sahil. Morning, Sahar. Morning, Lorenzo. Morning, Khadija. Morning, Dime. And not sure who that is, but I'm going to guess it's Nori. Morning, Nori. Morning, Parisa. Morning, Kaimane. Morning, Jigir. Morning, Amane. Morning, Abs. And I think that is everybody. If not, I will say hello to you as you pop up on my screen. Okay, so this week we are going to continue with ratio and we're going to break it down into a couple of little steps. Just going back on what we did last week, because I know last week it was fairly challenging. So we're going to have a look at this week's and we're going to repeat a little bit of last week's as a recap. Morning, Salad. Okay, so looking at last week's, we worked on how to calculate the ratio. Okay, so we're going to recap that a little bit. And ratio is where we're displaying a relationship between two numbers of the same kind or a group of numbers of the same kind. Okay, so we've got three types of car here, and I'm going to just walk us through the steps of how to look at the ratio of each of these so that when we move through the lesson, we're able to work on ratio properly. So morning, Bish. Okay, so we have, all we're going to do with each group is count them. So we have 4 red cars, we have 5 blue cars, and we have 3 green cars. And you can see that the ratio of all these cars together is 4 to 5 and then 5 to 3. Okay, and the colon separates the each of the digits of the numbers and gives us our ratio. Okay, then we looked at comparing a pictorial image. So we looked at it and said, right, okay, so we have X amount of pears and X amount of apples. And the statement says there are X pears for every Y apples. And the ratio is this. So in order to do this, we need to count how many pears there are and count how many apples there are. Okay, which is fairly simple. So we're going to say there's 5 pears and there is 6 apples. So the ratio is 5 to 6. Okay, 5 to 6. But then if you remember, we went on to ratios as fractions. So we talked about, well, what is the fraction amount? So we talked about how you need to count all of the items together or add them up. So 5 and 6 becomes our denominator. So 5 and 6 is 11. Okay. And then we look at how many of the particular part that we need. So in this case, it says something 11ths of the fruit are apples. Well, actually, it's asking us to look at the apples only. So we count the apples and we know that the apples are 6. So 6/11 becomes our fraction. Okay. So that's a small recap of last week. And the reason that's important is because we need to understand how to be able to calculate the ratio of two amounts in order for us to be able to work on the next steps moving forward. Okay. So what's great is I can see lots and lots of people getting it right in the comment section. So Fies, Tabor, Elsie, Khadija, Amani, Abs. Lots of people are getting it right, which is great to see. Okay. So we're going to move on and we're going to try and use multiplication to solve a ratio problem. So you can see on the screen that there is a picture of my face and also there are some students. So for every teacher, I'm the teacher, the person in the school photo, there are X students. So we've got 4 students, yep. So well done, Elsie and Sahil. There are 4 students. So we can see by counting them that there are actually 4 students. Okay. So for every teacher, there are 4 students. So our ratio, which some of you are correctly predicting, is that it's 1 teacher for every 4 students. So our ratio becomes 1 to 4. So if you look at the green box at the bottom, the first step of using multiplication is you're going to calculate the ratio and change it to its simplest form. Okay, so our simplest form is 1 to 4 because we can't divide 1 by any other number but itself, and if we divided 4 by 1 it would be 4. Okay, so our ratio is 1 to 4. Now the next step, it says if there were 11 teachers, how many students would there be? So we now need to work out how we would find out how many students there would be if there were 11 teachers. So we take our ratio, which is 1 to 4, and we're going to multiply our teachers by 11, because that's what it's saying. We've got 11 teachers. So we multiply our teachers by 11, and that gives us 11 teachers. And whatever we do to one side, we always do to the other. So we multiply our 4 by 11, and that would give us 44 teachers. Okay, 44 pupils. So we now know, looking at our steps, is we've done the red step and the blue step, is that our new ratio would be 11 to 44. Well, actually, the amount of pupils we have is actually 44. So if we had 11 teachers, we would have 44 students. Okay. And again, I can see lots and lots of people getting it correct. So well done, Parisa, Sahil, Elsa. I'm sure quite a lot of you have got it correct as well. And well done, Tabor, and Amani, and Ella. Oh, morning, Ella, and morning, Zuleika. So our steps there are simple. The first thing we have to do is calculate our ratio. That's the most important thing. Without that, we can't really complete the rest of the calculation. But also simplify it down to its smallest amount. So if both numbers are divisible by another number, we need to make it the lowest it can possibly be. The second part is we are going to multiply the first part of the ratio by the desired amount. So in this case, it was 11 because it was saying we need 11 teachers. Okay. Whatever we do to one side, we always do to the other. So we multiply the second part, which is 4, by 11, and that gives us 44. And then we realize that the ratio, when it's equivalent, is 11 to 44, and that's our answer. Okay. So we're going to have a look at another one. Okay, so we have, for every bus, there are Y people or blank people. Okay. For every bus, there are blank people. So if you know the answer, then let me know. For every bus, there are blank people. So I want you to tell me the ratio in the chat box, please. Tell me the ratio in the chat box. Yep, the 7, but that's not the ratio. I want to know the ratio. Well done, Sophia. Yep, the ratio, and morning, Sophia. The ratio is 1 bus, so there are 7 people, and the ratio is 1 bus for every 7 people. Okay, 1 bus for every 7 people. Then the question is, how many people would fit on 12 buses? So we use our ratio at this point to help us solve this calculation, and we're going to use it by writing the ratio. So we've got 1 to 7 people. And it says how many people would fit on 12 buses? Well, we're going to multiply the 1 by 12. We start on the first number. 1 times 12 is 12. And then we do the same with the other number, because whatever we do to one, we always do to another. So 7 times 12 is 84. So we now know that 84 people would fit on 12 buses. Okay. So just to quickly recap again, we looked at our ratio and we wrote it and simplified it to its lowest form. We then multiplied the first part of our ratio by the desired number. In this case, it was 12 because it asked us about 12 buses. And then we did the same to the other side and we multiplied it by that. And that gives us our answer of 84. So well done, Tabor, Dime, Abdul, Sahil, Zuleika, Abra, Ella, and Faiz. So we're going to move on again to the last one. So if you don't quite understand this yet, that's absolutely fine. This video will be online straight after the lesson. It's a nice quick lesson today to get you into the swing of it this week. So you can watch it back again, you can go back again, and you can try and calculate the answers. Well done, Charlie. The answer was 84, yes. Okay. Okay, so slightly different question. It says, how many triangles would there be if there were 40 circles? So the first thing we're going to do is exactly what we've done before. We're going to write the ratio. Okay, we're going to write the ratio. So in the chat box, what's the ratio of circles to triangles? What's the ratio of circles to triangles? Well done, Zelika. The ratio is 2 to 4. So we have 2 circles for every 4 triangles. But as Abraz just said in the chat box, we can now simplify this ratio because both of these numbers are divisible by 2. Okay, so 2 is divisible by 2 and 4 is divisible by 2. Which means we can simplify this ratio to 1 and 2. Okay, well done, Amani. So now we've got this, we can do the same with what we've done before. All we've done is simplified our original ratio. So we write our ratio down here, and we're going to go through the steps again. So we're going to start with the 1, and I'm going to multiply it by 40 because it's saying how many triangles would they be if there were 40 circles. Well, the circles are my green, so I'm going to multiply that by 40, which gives me 40. And then the red, I'm going to do with the same. So the 2, I'm going to multiply by 40, which is also going to give me a number, and that number is 2 times 40. Now, if at this stage I'm not sure how to multiply 2 times 40, I can multiply 2 times 4, which I will definitely know, and then multiply it by 10, which would give me 80. So if there were 40 circles, I know there would be 80 triangles. So again, taking that step by step, we looked at the original ratio. We wrote down there were 2 circles for every 4 triangles. And then we simplified it by dividing it by 2. Once we'd done that, we went through the next step and we multiplied the first digit by our desired number, which in this case was 40. Then we looked at the second digit and we multiplied that by 40, which gave us 80, and we rewrote the ratio. And we could see that from that there would be 80 triangles for 40 circles. What's really great to see is that lots and lots of people are understanding how to do this, which is great because that means we've consolidated our understanding of last week's lessons, and it means that you're working hard and you can move forward into this week's lessons. Okay, here is your tests for today. I'm going to leave these on the screen while I give you a chance to write them down. I will be back in a few minutes. If you're not 100% sure how to do this, rewind the video, check it over again, follow the steps at the bottom of the screen, and come back and do these at a later date. 100%, I'd like to see you posting all of your answers on Dojo and so I understand that you understand and I will leave this on for a few more minutes for you to have a go, and then I will come back and I need to have a quick chat with you. Okay, hopefully you've got them all down and you have managed to start to begin to do them. If not, don't worry about it. You'll be able to pause this in a minute. I am going to just go offline for a second so I can come back on, because I really want to do the Wheel of Fortune for you before I go. If you have responded to coming back into school, I will see you on the 1st of June. If you haven't responded, that's absolutely fine. Don't worry about it too much. There'll be more information coming out later this week. Okay. I'm going to go off for a second, so I'm going to stop the recording for a second. I shall be back on in a couple of minutes, just quickly to spin the Wheel of Fortune for you. Okay, I'll see you in a little while. Okay, hopefully you can see me now. Just put a yes in the chat box if you can see me, and you can see the Wheel of Fortune screen. Okay, so just double check to see if your name is on the screen, if it's actually on the wheel. This person's going to win a book and a certificate. So if you are double check that you're on there. There will be some people on there that you have maybe not seen in chat, and that's absolutely fine. I know they've been working hard behind the scenes. Okay, Jigay, I will put your name on. That was an accident, so Jigay. Okay, hopefully you should all be able to see it. Jigay, I have put your name on. Kaimani, I think your name is on there. I think I've seen it already, but I will double check. All right, so I'm going to spin the wheel. The winner will get a book, which is the book I wrote, and you'll get a certificate. I think someone just said, "How will I get it?" It does. Don't you worry about that. You will 100% get a book, even if I'm back in school, even if it means you come and collect it or we post it out to you from school. Okay. So I'm going to spin it, and if it lands on you, you will collect a book and a certificate, and it will come to you in a second. Okay. Here. All right. So we'll spin it. Parisa, you've won the book this week. I will make sure that you get a copy of the book, which I've already ordered, and it will come to you really, really quickly. Okay. I took Kaimani off just before, took him off once just before. Okay. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you for tuning in again. I will be back online tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon. Make sure that if you don't quite understand, you get a chance to review the lesson and send me your answers. Have a great day, everyone. See you later.